Hats off to St. Bonaventure. I thought that was probably one of the best games they played offensively all year. Shot the ball at a high rate. We made some mistakes, but they also made some shots. And every time we made a couple, they made a couple, which made it difficult. But I give our guys credit. You know, they fought when things didn't go well. And we've shown we can play. I think St. Bonaventure is one of the best teams in the league from what I've seen. You know, you compare them to Rhode Island, or now can they do that every night? I don't know. But you compare them to Rhode Island, St. Louis, Davidson, they got a lot of pop. And they got a lot of really good pieces. You know, you're talking about a center that changes the game defensively. You got a top flight point guard. He's as good as any point guard in the league. And then the two young wings, you know, they shot it in tonight on us. And their four men had a good game. It's just one of those nights we just couldn't quite get it done. You know, we tried. We really did. We made a few undisciplined plays that hurt us. But overall, I can't really complain with our guys. They tried. They just didn't quite get it done.
Is it frustrating? You know, we've talked a lot about how this team is better when they're hitting threes, when they're shooting well from the outside. Is it frustrating that tonight you got it and it just, you know, they just shot it better on the other end?
Well, I think, you know, the biggest thing for me is in my career, I haven't won many 83-80 games. It's not really how I coach, or what I believe in. When the score is high, I'm going to lose most of the time. And so I don't really like those kind of games. Again, I don't think it was from effort. I mean, I thought we were a little undisciplined at times, maybe a half step slow, you know, but they made shots. I mean, and, you know, we did too. I mean, when you make, I don't know how many games I've ever lost when we made 14 threes either, but it's not really our kind of game. And I'm not sure it's their kind of game all the time either. They're kind of a grinded out team as well, but they're capable. You know, they haven't lost many games with the big kid playing. You know, most people can't go inside at all on them. So we went inside. They doubled early. They had success doubling, and then in the second half they doubled and we made them pay. And they quit doubling, and then we didn't score as well off the single coverage. So then we spread out, went to Sincere, and he made some plays. He just didn't make all of them. But again, he did what he had to do to win the game. We got caught on some plays. They ran a good out-of-bounds play where they threw it up and we stared at it and didn't cover our guys. But we're going to make some mistakes, you know. Overall, like, we played hard enough to win. We didn't play good enough to win. And they played really well.
Didn't get much from Marcus. Is he okay?
The question was about Marcus. I felt like he didn't really have it from the get-go, you know, and I tried being nice early, and then I tried crushing him, and he just couldn't get it going. And it wasn't just at one end, it was at both ends. He struggled defensively too. But he looked like he was sore, stiff. And I'm not mad at Marcus. He's carried us all year long. But, you know, we're going to struggle if he don't play better than that.
Do you think he got down when he got his shot blocked a couple times?
I mean, they did a good job of running at him. We told Mark, look, you're going to have to pass. You're going to have to jump, stop, sit down, and pass because they're coming, right? And they did a good job. I mean, and, you know, you're talking about one of the best shot blockers in the league. He's one of the best in the country. So he struggled. And normally if he's 0 for 6, we're going to have a rough time of it. But we got good performances from some other people. Little guy played really good. You know, he missed a couple at the end, but he kept us in it the first half. I mean, he bombed them in. He's, you know, got to give him a lot of credit.
What do you think overall defensively could have done better?
Everything. I mean, we showed a couple stretches where we guarded pretty good, but we didn't guard the ball well, right? And then we didn't close out and guard well, right? But they put pressure on us because they made the jump shot, you know. If they make 10 for 21, they're going to win most nights.
And rebounding the basketball, I know Tavian said you guys were just kind of looking around.
I felt like, you know, because we didn't guard the ball well, then Mike had to come and block, right? And now you're 6'2". We're a little bit small at those guard spots. 6'2", chipping down on 6'10", 6'6". I mean, they just beat us to the ball. We've had more trouble with teams like this than the big, strong teams, right? We've had trouble with the quicker teams that beat us off the dribble, right, and then put us in outnumbered situations. But we have to play better than that defensively. Like, I mean, you would have thought that I never coach a game defensively watching that. But that's the way it goes sometimes.
Was Marcus? You said you thought he was a little sore. Is he like banged up, or is it just like just?
Well, he had those things on his knees yesterday at practice. We've been pushing his conditioning, so we probably didn't help him any. But by the same token, we know that he's got to get better condition to really become what he should be. And then he got hit a little bit in the ankle, I think. But I just think he started slow and he couldn't rally himself. That's probably the biggest thing. And that's something that I give our guys credit for. We got popped in the mouth to start the second half, and we just never quit. We came all the way back and finally tied it, and then they hit a bomb on us. Those are the ones that you just got to guard at that point. They made more plays in the last 2 minutes than we did.
And that play in the box that was reversed, that was a big play.
That was a big play. And then we had a couple go in and out. Tavian, we handed it off to him and shot it, and that went in and out. And then Sin had the 3 ball that went in and out to tie it. They made theirs and we didn't, right? As simple as that. But we made them to come back. So they're good. They're a good team. He's a good coach. I mean, they're a very similar type team as us. I thought their toughness level was really good. They gave up 82, 80 also. So you figured out it was just one of those games. They haven't given up 80 that much this year, I don't think, right? I think they're about 6th in the league in defense. I think we're 5th.
About like you.
About like us.
What'd you think of the atmosphere out there?
I thought it was pretty good overall. I think, our fan base did a good job of coming out 40 minutes or 35 minutes. I think if we play at Palumbo, we probably have about 5 or 6 more points. I think that's part of the hard thing we're going through, right? But that's what it is. I mean, but overall the atmosphere was pretty good. I think if the game was at Palumbo, it would have been a pretty big crowd, right? But I give our people credit for coming this far, because it's far. Right? I think it's a good arena for good atmosphere. What about you? What did you think?
Thought it was loud.
Pretty loud. They brought quite a few fans too, right?
Yeah.
They got good following.
There were some of their key guys got in foul trouble early and in key stretches in the second half with Lofton and the big guy. And it seemed like you didn't take full advantage of some of the stretches. Like you crawled back at some point but couldn't really take the lead or finish that. Is that fair to say? Is that part of the key, getting it? Because I know you spoke about it earlier, getting them in foul trouble.
I mean, you could look at it 2 ways. Lofton got a couple minutes on the bench, which might have helped them, right? I mean, their other guys aren't chopped liver. I mean, Peasy used to be the starting center, right? I mean, he's played a lot of basketball. He's not like a guy that hasn't played. Now, he can't do some of the things that the other guy can, but you're not going to bully him. He's a strong kid. Right, and he could score maybe a little bit better than even the big one, right? Other than drop-offs, And then Lofton's one of the best. He's one of the best guards in the league that nobody really talks about, right? Well, I guess people talk about him, but they don't put him up there with some of the other guys. You don't hear him in the same conversation as Goodmanson or Crutcher.
Russell.
But what's that?
Or Russell.
Or Fats Russell, but he's good now. He's a good player. He's a winning guy. And if you notice, he makes big shots when it matters. And then Don Welsh he's one of the better shooters in the league. You look at their 3-point numbers; they have good 3-point numbers. And then the two guys they got, the junior college kid English, he's a good player. Vasquez is a good player. They got good players. I mean, you don't. Mark Schmidt isn't going to be at St. Bonaventure for 13 years and not have good players, right? He knows what he's doing. He knows what's good for him. He's got good players. And they're as good as most people in the league. Remember, I told you that. Don't be surprised. They're as good as most people in the league.
I know you spoke a little bit about that the 3 that Lofton hit after you guys tied it up. But what exactly happened there? Because it just seemed like he just sprung over. You know what I'm saying?
So it was an out of bounds.
Yeah.
It was a special situation. And it's what I call the old Chicago Bulls play. So they throw the ball up in the air, they lobbed it in on Tavian's man, And so what's human nature?
Sure.
Everybody stares at it, and they flared us out the back when everybody stared at it. Right? And I've seen like NBA teams get caught on it. We got caught on it. Right? And we stared at it and we paid the price. He made a shot. Simple as that.
Mark Schmidt.
It's a good play. I mean, you got to give them credit. They executed the play. And we stared at it. Like, again, we made some mistakes like that throughout the game that, like, Lamar went under a flare. Like you can't. Like, we teach that. Like, you can't ever go under a flare, but we did it consistently. Like, you just can't do that stuff and win a close game. That's the part that disappoints me. Like, you get whipped one-on-one, okay, sometimes that's going to happen. Guy's better than you, maybe guarding the ball, but you can't give up action plays. Like guys coming off of screens or a low cross screen or a flare. Like, we spent a lot of time on that stuff. Those are the things that kind of get me. Or the other one is, if a guy's all right-hand drive, you should never get beat right-hand drive. Like, that's just ignorant, right? And that will get you beat. Good?